This is the small 800 series Shinkansen. Only found in 9 examples, makes it the smallest standalone series of the Japanese high-speed train fleet. With the train only operating in the extremities of the network on services fully within the Kyushu island in the south. So join me as we explore the history behind JR Kyushu's fully owned Shinkansen trains as we travel from Hakata to Kumamoto. Hello and welcome back for another train journey. Today we are at the Hakata railway station located within the 6th largest city in Japan, Fukuoka. The station here was opened all the way back in 1889, serving as the main access point to the Kyushu island. However, as you might be able to tell, this is not the original station building, with the station being completely remodeled in 2011. I personally really like this simple artwork by the entrance. And speaking of the entrance, let's head inside. As with most major railway stations in Japan, it's a clean and organized place to be, but it can be a bit hectic with lots of people around. In the station you will find plenty of stores, selling everything from souvenirs to food. Inside the station you will find a rail pass counter, which will be useful if you're traveling on one of the many Kyushu rail passes. But fear not, if you just want a one-way ticket, there's also a ticket office as well as ticket machines for regular Shinkansen trains. As with most major railway stations in Japan, you will find plenty of coin lockers inside the station, very handy if you're just visiting the city for a day. In order to catch your train, we will have to find the separate Shinkansen platforms as well as entrance. But as with most major stations in Japan, there's plenty of signage available in English, so just make sure to pay attention and you won't get lost. As we arrive up at the Shinkansen concourse, you will find some departure screens helping you locate your platform. We'll be catching a Tsubame service, number 325, bound for Kumamoto, leaving track number 11. To access the platforms, you will need to have your ticket ready to pass through the barriers. I'm traveling on a JR rail pass, so this will basically open any gate for me. In total, there are 6 platforms here serving the Shinkansen lines. This is because Hakata is a major junction railway station with terminating services coming from the Sanyo Shinkansen all the way from Osaka and Tokyo, operated by JR West. Here they meet with the Kyushu Shinkansen for Kumamoto and Kagoshima, which we'll be traveling on today, and in the future also the Nishi Kyushu Shinkansen from Nagasaki once its extension from Takeo Onsen is completed. And here we are on platforms 11 and 12. Parked next to our platform on number 11 is one of the many variants of the 700 series Shinkansen trains. This one in particular is forming a Nozomi service bound for Tokyo. And here's our train, one of the 9 800 series Shinkansen trains, built by Hitachi for use on the Kyushu Shinkansen exclusively. These trains operate at speeds up to 260 km per hour. They are operated by the JR Kyushu Railway Company, which has this great emblem. Our train is still currently being prepared for departure, but around 8 minutes before scheduled departure time, we are allowed to board. I have reserved a seat in carriage number 4. And here we are at my seat for the roughly 1 hour journey down to Kumamoto. We depart on time at 14:36. Leaving the station, we follow the narrow gauge track of the classic railway line that used to serve as the main link to Kumamoto and Kagoshima before the completion of the Shinkansen line in 2011. And as we accelerate out of the city, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. We are on board Tsubame 325, which starts in Hakata, calling at all 5 intermediate stations on its way to our final destination, Kumamoto, where we will arrive after having covered the 117 kilometers in 48 minutes. This gives the train an average speed of 146 km per hour. As our train hastily accelerates out of Hakata, let's have a look at the seats. They feature a coat hook, a small storage pocket. You'll find a tray table in the armrest, which is deployed like this. It's fairly small. Unfortunately, there are no power outlets on board these trains. You'll find the recline button in the armrest. The seats themselves are fairly comfortable, but I wouldn't want to spend more than like an hour and a half on them. Here's what the seat looks like, fully reclined. And as with most long distance trains in Japan, the seats can be turned around to face the direction of travel. You just press the button under the seat and then you can spin it around like this. Oh, and by the way, if your phone is really hungry for power, the first and last row of seats actually do have power outlets. With us having 5 intermediate stations on our 48-minute journey, we are quickly coming into our first stop. This is Shintosu, which is also used to store Shinkansen trains outside of peak hours. Intermediate stops are brief, and we are quickly on our way again. Thanks to the train's good acceleration capabilities, we quickly reach our top speed of 260 km per hour again. Well, let's go for a wander around the train. As you can see, it's laid out in a 2+2 layout, which is kinda uncommon for Shinkansen trains, as they're usually 2+3 in standard class. Out in the vestibule you will find a sink, which you can use after visiting the toilet, as most toilets on board Japanese trains on the Shinkansen network doesn't have a proper sink inside them. You'll also find a urinal for the men. And as with all high-speed trains I've taken in Japan, it's spotless. Over here we'll find a relic from the train's past, the payphone service. But I actually reckon this makes a nice mobile phone conversation area now. Throughout the train's 6 carriages, they all have this 2+2 layout, making it the only Shinkansen train to not have a variation in the seating layout. But despite the lack of variation in the seats, I really think these trains are stylish. Especially because they're fitted with artworks in the vestibules. And I actually just really love this dark interior. The train even used to have a vending machine on board, but you can really start to tell that this train has been downgraded to pretty much only commuter use these days. Anyway, back at my seat, and it's time to relax for the remainder of the journey. I mean, Japan just does train jingles better. Another fun fact about these 800 series Shinkansen trains is that it's the only type of Shinkansen train series that hasn't reached Tokyo Station. Although it is a bit of a stretch, as the Kyushu Shinkansen trains doesn't either, but as those trains are technically part of the N700S family of trains, which does serve Tokyo, means that the 800 series can just about hold on to this peculiarity. Also big thanks to my friend over on the Albi channel for letting me borrow his footage of the Kyushu Shinkansen. Make sure to also watch his video. And just like that, we are now approaching our final intermediate stop, Shin Tamana. With our brief stop here now complete, it's about time to prepare to get off the train, as we will be in Kumamoto shortly. The approach into the city is mostly through tunnels through the hills that surrounds it, with quick glimpses of sunlight like this. And so far, I've really enjoyed my journey here on the 800 series Shinkansen. They are good trains for the short hops within Kyushu, but would be slightly disappointing should you undertake a longer journey with them. But the high quality of service offered does not come cheap, as a ticket between the two cities will set you back around 4,700 yen or 29 euros. But I'll let you be the judge of that, if it's good value or not, especially considering the high reliability and standard of service here in Japan. And here we are arriving into the Shinkansen platforms at Kumamoto station, right on time. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I try to upload a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon, I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.